Hi, everyone. Welcome. You just have to help me here. I am once again having issues, sound issues. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hear anything. I don't know if you're hearing. Please just someone put yes, we can hear you. Let me know, please. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Please, please, please. We hear you. Yes. Okay. Okay. It may not be the best. It's not using my microphone. I don't know what is going on, but I deal with this a lot, and it's not like I don't know what I'm doing. I understand how this stuff works. Crazy, crazy. Anyway, welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome everybody coming on X. That's the newest place we're streaming. I see you guys already put in the chat about July 4th and 5th gathering. If you're interested in free tickets, that will be at thegatheringmovement.org. It says National Gathering Tickets. Click that. Boom, you're on your way. Okay. Quickly, I got a lot of show here, and I really want to get to, especially the end, which is going to be like mind-blowing. But I've got another show tonight, and I've got a business thing in the middle of the afternoon. So I'm not going to go crazy with this, but just so you know, God's got this right there. Feather, blue crystal. Okay. In the description, the necklace is absolutely gorgeous. And then there is look at these rhinestones with a blue crystal. Beautiful. They match the whole set. And then last but not least is a 20-ounce skinny protected Psalm 91 tumbler, stainless steel, very portable. It fits in cup holders. So it's really, really nice. It's double steel. Comes in all kinds of colors, all kinds of backgrounds. Jenna said she added a bunch of stuff. Yeah, go to the new tab and you can get it. Now, here's where I got to say this. She put up on the site, Happy Spring Weekend Sale. So you can get up to 20% off your entire order. Okay. Sale ends Sunday at midnight. So the discount codes for the spring sale can be used on already discount clearance items. Okay. So you want to go over there. You don't want to miss this one. And as always, free US shipping on every order. I pray I don't go out. I really I've been waiting for these things to come out, these files, for like 3 decades. More was released today. I didn't get a chance to kind of get through it. I just opened a couple and I'm like, this isn't going to work. I've got to go with what I have. And maybe next week, if there's anything that's great, I'll bring it tonight, but I'm not sure how much time I'm going to have today as well. But a lot of people are saying this is a nothing burger. This is not a nothing burger. This is major. Okay. Now, I know it's not major if you knew a lot of this stuff, but when you really dig, you find some amazing things that, and again, at the end, I'm going to play something that explains that everyone's like, well, who killed JFK? That really isn't the biggest thing. And I'm going to go into this. Okay. But let's just start with one name that's very, very important because I got to lay a foundation for you. That name is James Angleton. James Angleton, interestingly enough, his middle name is Jesus. Boy, that I probably should have named him Judas. But James Angleton was an American CIA officer. He served as chief of counterintelligence department of the CIA from 1954 to 1975. There is a part of this is part of an excerpt from a book by Jefferson Morley about Angleton. I want to read exactly what it says. CIA spy master James Angleton was one of the most powerful unelected officials in the United States government in the mid-20th century, a ghost of American power. From World War II to the Cold War, Angleton operated beyond the view of the public, Congress, and even the president. He unwittingly shared intelligence secrets with Soviet spy Kim Philby, a member of the notorious Cambridge spy ring. He launched mass surveillance by opening the mail. Listen to this. This is in the 50s, guys, in the 60s. Mass surveillance by opening the mail of hundreds of thousands of Americans. He created a scheme to aid Israel's own nuclear efforts, disregarding U.S. security. He committed perjury and obstructed the JFK assassination investigation. Basically, he and Poppy Bush are the ones who shaped the CIA, and Prescott Bush too, Poppy's father. I mean, he's in this. He actually worked with Margaret Sanger on Planned Parenthood. They're all it's the Bush crime family, okay? But this guy, you got to remember this guy's name, James Angleton. Nobody ever heard of him really until now, but this guy was at the top when this was going on. He shaped CIA and counterintelligence as we know today. A lot of the corruption we're dealing with today is out of the realm of then James Angleton. There are unredacted pages in here. I can't go through them all, but I'm going to try to hit on some stuff. In 1975, he testified about JFK behind closed doors. There were 40 pages of redacted testimony that never made it to the light of day. Well, those pages are in the files. Obviously, I cannot get to all of them, but I'm going to give you an overview of what's going on with them. They were about surveillance of Lee Harvey Oswald pre-assassination. Angleton contacted Oswald, who was then a 20-year-old Marine, as a source or contact if they needed him. Oswald was all in. I'll do, here it is, CIA contacting a private in the Marines. And he's like, absolutely, I'll do whatever I need to do for you guys. At that time, Oswald was under surveillance for even his personal life, his politics, spending time in Russia, habits, his foreign travels, his contacts. And they did that from 1959 until 1963. The files showed that in November of 1963, the month that JFK was assassinated, the CIA and Angleton had a 180-page file on Oswald on his desk. That was a week before JFK was assassinated. It's obvious the CIA was involved in the JFK cover-up. It says it everywhere. But there are more files yet to come out, and they did come out this morning. This isn't all of them. I don't know if what the dump that came out this morning is all of them. And they will give us more details on this. But then there's Israel, okay? If you've gone through any of these files, Israel is everywhere. Now, I'm going to say it again. If you're going to blame the Jewish people in Israel, then you might as well blame Americans and the United States of America, okay? We had nothing to do with it, we the people. Israeli, the Jewish people in Israel had nothing to do with this. This was the CIA and the Mossad, who is the Israeli CIA, and Britain's MI16. They all worked together. Now, I'm going to show you. Here's a letter. This is an Angleton. This is from, this is secret. They just unredacted everything. This is, you can see, let's make sure this cannot be traced back to Israel. It has not been, we have to protect Israel. And they talk about was revealing to outside agencies that material did, in fact, come from another government agency in Israel. Okay, so it's important that this is April 30th, 1954, guys. Remember, Israel was made a nation in 1949. This is what's going on here. already? It's already involved because the people that were in Israel in power hated their own country and their own Jews. It's like if you look at a lot of the people in Congress, they hate this country. They absolutely despise it. They want the end of America. Well, that is the same thing that was happening in Israel. Okay. So if you read that it says because Angleton worked as a CIA informant and counterintelligence spy. Basically, that letter is saying that nothing should be disseminated if Israel is mentioned. Very suspicious. Then there are pages upon pages where Israel is mentioned. They don't mention the Mossad. You understand? They're mentioning Israel because they're dealing with Israel and the counterintelligence agencies of Israel. Sadly, the Israeli people that live in that country, just like the United States, where one of their own agencies was hiding valuable information from them as it is being hidden from us. We have to be really careful. We don't generalize. We cannot make, people are trying to make a general brush across Israel. Well, do you like it when that's done to us? And we don't like it because these people are not us. Angleton, LBJ, Bush crime family, these are not us. The Clintons, these are not us. These people hate this country. Do not do the same thing people are doing to us to the people of Israel. Okay, so I want to veer for one moment now that we're discussing the various players in the JFK file. When you think, I'm going to play a video at the end. And the video at the end is of Kash Patel. And he's saying, here's the thing. You guys are asking all the wrong questions because everybody's like, who killed JFK? Who was behind it? We know who was behind it, but who is the one that is creating everything that's happening in this world? We can name different groups, different people, but there's one that I've yet to bring up, and I'm going to talk about it today, just quickly, because this is the group that pulled the strings for decades, who was behind the JFK plot at its genesis. It's the Committee of 300. Now, you might have heard of them, you might not. They want literally the destruction and control of the United States of America, first and foremost, and then the world. They want the depopulation of billions of innocent people. They wanted the public execution of President John F. Kennedy. That was a public execution. The control of U.S. elections and elections around the world. They released the AIDS virus and other deadly viruses. So we're going China, China, China. I get it. It came from there. But where? Who? Who is behind all of this? The Committee of 300. I'm going to read you some names of who this really is. So my question is, and I know President Trump knows this, and I'm going to prove it to you later. Actually, I'm going to prove it to you tonight on Fab 4 as well. How long will America and humanity allow the Committee of 300 to rule and create such death and destruction in the United States and around the world? They won't give up their power easily. It must be forcibly removed from them. You don't hear me say that often. What I'm about to read you comes from Dr. John Coleman, and it was written in 1991. He was a chief intelligence officer for over 45 years. And this is based on 20 years of relentless research that he went through. His book, The Committee of 300, is on Amazon. It is Dr. John Coleman. I'm going to read you what he said. I'm leaving out a lot because I'll be here all day. The intent and purpose of the Committee of 300 is to bring to pass the following conditions: a one world government, one unit monetary system, population, limited restrictions on the number of children per family, diseases, wars, depopulation is their goal. There'll be no middle class, only rulers and servants. Privately owned firearms or weapons of any kind will be prohibited. Now, take what I'm talking about here. Okay, I'm saying here. This is from the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. Okay, and think about what they're trying to do today. So take what I'm saying now from then and relate it to now. You'll see what you'll understand who's really behind what's going on. Nancy Pelosi is a little pawn. Okay, these people are pawns. Only one religion will be allowed, and that will be in the form of a one world government church, which has been in existence since 1920. Luciferianism. It shall be recognized as the only legitimate religion. Christianity is a thing of the past. No individual freedom. Listen to this. United States national pride shall be stamped out. Now, think of today. Nationalism. Who goes after it? Who says nationalism, the United States, it's all they care about? Who goes after it? Make MAGA. Make America great again. He's going after Greenland. He wants Canada. Because he is trying to protect the United States of America. He is about nationalism. He's getting rid of illegal aliens. This is why he knows this. President Trump knows of the Committee of 300. That's what they're after. You'll see it now. No national pride. It shall be stamped out. He wants to make Canada the 51st state. He wants to buy Greenland. He wants to take over the Panama Canal. You get it now? He's bolstering the United States to strength. That's what it's about. He's setting back the Committee of 300 decades. I'm going to continue. Each person shall be fully indoctrinated with an ID number. The master files of the CIA, FBI, state and local police agencies, IRS, FEMA, Social Security will be vastly expanded and form the basis of personal records of all individuals in the United States. Now, let's just take Social Security real quick, and I'm going to get back to JFK, but this is going to tie right in. Social Security. Oh, up in arms. Why are people up in arms? You 25-year-old little twit. Why are you up in arms over Social Security? Because Social Security, that's why he's streamlining it. He's never going to take it away. In fact, he's going to give people more. But he's streamlining it. He's trying to get rid of everything because it's robbing the United States of money that we can use for other things. He knows that. That's why they want to expand Social Security. That's why they added 130-year-old people, 140-year-old people, because they want to expand it. They want to take more. Marriage will be outlawed. There'll be no family life as we know it. Children will be removed from their parents at an early age and brought up as wards as state property. I could go down that road all day long. All wealth shall be aggregated into the hands of the elite members of the Committee of 300. Each individual shall be indoctrinated to understand that he or she is totally dependent upon the state for survival. Industries to be totally destroyed. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Industry is to be totally destroyed along with nuclear-powered energy systems. Only the Committee of 300 members and their elitist families shall have the right to any of the Earth's resources. Agriculture shall be solely in the hands of the Committee of 300 with food production strictly controlled. You see what's going on? You see what's going on today? China, all these countries buying up the land, the farmers buying them up. That's what's happening. They're trying to do it any way they can. At least 4 billion, listen to this, useless eaters, we're useless eaters, shall be eliminated by the year 2050. By war, organized epidemics of fatal, rapid-acting diseases, and starvation. Energy, food, and water shall be kept at subsistence levels for the non-elite, starting with the white populations of North America and Western Europe, and then spreading to other races. They're trying to wipe out the white man, okay? Where Margaret Sanger, in the turn of the century into the 1900s, was trying to wipe out the Black people, the white, and they're trying to make a species that will be rare, is the white male, okay? This is Committee of 300. Population of Canada, Western Europe, and the United States will be decimated more rapidly than any other continent until the world's population reaches a manageable level of under 1 billion, of which 500 million will consist of Chinese and Japanese races, selected because they are people who have already been regimented for centuries as good little boys and girls, and they're accustomed to the authority. So they don't have to do so much. You see, this country, we're radical rebellions, okay? We are. United States of America, and forgive my English, are a bunch of badasses. That's the only word I could use. After the destruction of housing, auto, steel, and heavy goods industries, there shall be limited housing and industries of any kind allowed to remain, shall be under the direction of NATO's Club of Rome. Who's in the Club of Rome? Take a guess. The United States will be flooded by peoples of all alien cultures who will eventually overwhelm America. Does that sound like what's going on? People with no concept of what the United States Constitution stands for and who will, in consequence, do nothing to defend it. That's why it's not taught in schools anymore. The first thing I would do if I was President Trump, make a law, pass it through Congress. Everyone, in order to graduate, must have a test on the United States Congress, in whose minds the concept of liberty and justice is so weak, it matters very little. All they care about is food and shelter. No bank except the Bank of International Settlement and the Central World Bank shall be allowed to operate. Private banks are outlawed. There should be no cash or coinage in the hands of the non-elite. Rival factions and groups like Arabs and Jews and African tribes shall have differences magnified, and they're allowed to wage wars of extermination against each other. As NATO and the UN observers say, they're watching you to make sure nothing too bad happens. All information services and print media shall be under the control of the one world government. David Sternlight, Vice President of Allstate Insurance Company. Let me go down here. He's a member of the Committee of 300. Let me read you a few more members. All the members of NATO. Got a fact you need to remember. They hold several offices. Among the NATO Club of Rome membership are Harlan Cleveland, a former U.S. ambassador to NATO, Joseph Slater, director of the Aspen Institute, Donald Lesh, a former staffer in the U.S. National Security Agency, NSA, George McGee, and Claiborne Pell, to name a few examples. You can look up all these people, you get who they are. They've planted its agents in the muscle of the United States, in its government, in Congress, in advisory posts around the president, as ambassadors. Club of Rome consists of David Rockefeller, Chase Manhattan Bank, Gabriel Haig of Manufacturers Hanover Trust and Finance Corporation, Milton Katz of the Ford Foundation, Willy Brandt, Leader of Socialist International, KGB agent and member of the Committee of 300, Irving Bluestone. Chairman of the United Auto Workers Executive Board, Russell Train. U.S. President of the Club of Rome and Prince Philip's World Wildlife Fund. Elizabeth Midgley, CBS programs producer. B.R. Gifford, director of the Russell Sage Foundation. Guido Goldman of the Aspen Institute. The late Avril Harriman, Committee of 300, extraordinary member extraordinaire. Thomas Hughes of the Carnegie Endowment Fund. Dennis Meadows and Jay Forrester of MIT World Dynamics. The Committee of 300, although has been in existence for 150 years, did not take on its present form until 1897. And from 1950s to now, has had the most success through Jesuits and 33-degree Freemasons. James Perkins of the Carnegie Corporation was also one of the founding members of the Bilderberg Group. Rockefellers, Kissingers, Rothschilds. Over the years, while we've been distracted by the boogeyman in the Kremlin, went from Soviet Union to Russia, the Trojan horse was moved into Washington, D.C. The greatest danger the free people ever face. Not from Moscow, from Washington, D.C. Oh, God. Then there's this scenario. Hear this. On March 27th, 1991, President George Poppy Bush made a very profound statement, the thrust of which appears to have been totally misused by political commentators. And I quote, "The moral dimension of American policy requires us to chart a moral course through a world of lesser evils. That is the real world, not black and white. There are very few moral absolutes." So what did he do? He buried the military, our military, buried alive 12,000 Iraqi soldiers in the light of an ongoing war of genocide against the Iraqi people. He didn't offer a single scrap of proof why he did that. It was just needed. Because he made that statement as a president, we questioned it without question. Consider this now, in the bright light of truth that's happening at this moment. He did all those things in the name of the American people while secretly taking his orders from the Committee of 300. So why go down that road during a JFK files situation? Because we're pointing a finger at the CIA. And yes, the CIA does need to be dismantled and splintered in 1,000 pieces to the wind, like President John F. Kennedy said. It's way bigger than the CIA, MI6, Mossad. That's why when people question President Trump, even in the chat, well, I don't think President Trump knows this, or I'm not sure he knows that. Does he realize this? You have no idea what he knows. You have no idea what he's dealing with. We, the people, have no... Listen, what I'm telling you today, see this earring? You could fit it all in here. And what he knows is big as the Empire State Building. Okay? It's laughable to me that we think we know better. Not that we shouldn't scrutinize, not that we shouldn't hold him accountable. I'm not saying that. But we have got to realize God placed him in the White House. And in 4 years, he will make sure a person will be placed in the White House. And I've said who I think it is 1 million times, for 2 terms. And it will continue. And the Committee of 300 will be exposed. And they will be wiped out. And they will never get what they plan on getting. Back to JFK files. Now, that's the question. Who really is behind all this? You just heard me talk about it. Even Russia, with the JFK files and what I saw, was involved in a sense. But no one would listen. And here's the letter. Where do you see this? Russia, Russia, Russia. The then Soviet Union warned the United States about the upcoming JFK assassination. Russia warned the US about 9/11 attacks as well. Look at this. I don't know if you can read it. This is from the British ambassador. This is the Sergei Zanomov, and it went through. It's from the Russian ambassador. I'm sorry, I said British. The embassy of the USSR. Okay, and it was going to from there to the president, Washington D.C. And it said in yellow, the director said, "Tell us what will happen to Mr. Kennedy." I'm sorry. The director said, "Tell us what will happen to Mr. Lee Harvey Oswald then." And this is from the the Russian ambassador. I said, "Mr. Lee Harvey Oswald will be killed after kill Kennedy." He didn't say after he kills Kennedy. He said after kill Kennedy. Then he said, "I will take the truth drug to tell the truth. Direct tell us who else will get killed in the country. Who will kill Dr. King Jr., the Negro leader?" I said a man who was in prison at that time. Okay, so the Russians are telling the United States that JFK was going to be killed. They said it after going through all the files. It's obvious that the CIA was a major perpetrator. I mean, I'm not saying that it wasn't. But then what about the Secret Service? So here we've got in this footage JFK assassinated with Secret Service. Now, when Secret Service, and you'll see them here, they're running next to JFK's car. They're running next to it. They're surrounding it. But then they're told, stand down in their earpiece. And this is what you see. Watch. What's happening? What? Why is he standing there? Why is he not going with them? What happened? Now they're in the back. No, that was before. I'm playing it again. Watch now. They were in the back. When they turned the corner, this is when he got shot. Secret Service. Okay. Now, is all Secret Service bad? No. They didn't know what was going on. They're under orders. Vice President says, stand down. You stand down. There's still so much to unpack. Okay, so let me just get through some of these things. I could go down that road all day. Okay, so I don't need that. All right. Watch this. This is interesting. This is Secret 1997. John Garrett Underhill Jr. All right. It says, Ramparts of June 1967 contains the following passages. This is from Gary Underhill, who was there. This is what he says. The day, you can look him up, who he is. The day after the assassination, Gary Underhill left Washington in a hurry. Late in the evening, he showed up at the home of friends in New Jersey. He was very agitated. A small clique within the CIA was responsible for the assassination, he confided, and he was afraid for his life and probably would have to leave the country. Less than 6 months later, Underhill was found shot to death in his Washington apartment. The coroner revealed it suicide. Okay, so let's get rid of that one. And let me give you this one. Treasury Department letter. Now, you can read this all letter. This is regarding Lee Harvey Oswald, the assassination of President Kennedy. And this is right after it happened. And at the bottom, it says for information of all the offices, blah, 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 blah. And it says, we now have plenty of money. Our new backers are Jews. As soon as we or they take care of Kennedy. This was right before. Okay, so within a couple of days, it was the deal was done. It was stamped 12/3. That was a week after Kennedy, and it was marked classified. So they were, the Khazarian Jews, whatever you want to call them, they were definitely involved in this. The newly released JFK files confirm that a secret intelligence pipeline between CIA and Israeli intelligence, but was personally overseen by James Angleton. Remember, I started at the beginning with James Angleton? This wasn't just routine intel sharing. It was a deliberate effort to conceal Israel's intelligence people involvement in sensitive U.S. operations, bypassing standard intelligence channels. Angleton acted as the sole gatekeeper, ensuring that all Israeli intelligence was filtered through him alone. Angleton controlled the flow of intel to the FBI. Remember, he's head of CIA. He scrubbed reports to ensure that Israeli intelligence was never directly named. A covert operation hidden in plain sight. Now, you have to keep in mind that Israel as a nation has been infiltrated with globalists, just the same as our United States. I'm going to say this until it stops, until people who are constantly trying to get the Jewish people, it has to stop. Our CIA is pretty much equivalent to the Mossad. I wish people would stop throwing Israel away. It is run by the globalist Luciferian cabal, the culprits of both nations. This is a pattern of the CIA. It's obvious. Look, the JFK files release is not telling us everything. It's not telling us a lot we didn't know. Well, at least deep down in our spirits, those that are aware. But what it did acknowledge for us is that now we do know. No more conspiracy theories. We know it was the CIA. We know LBJ was involved. And we have people in charge now that are in the process of dismantling all of it. At the end, I'm going to show you what you're about to hear, okay? But I've got to set it up first. This is what I've got to, before I play this. What you're about to hear is a recording between Billy Sol Estes and Clinton C. Carter. Billy Sol Estes. Now, I didn't realize who these people were until I dug a lot deeper and finally found a clip with their names on it. Billy Sol Estes was an American businessman and financier, best known for his business fraud scandal that complicated his ties to one of his best friends and would-be future U.S. President Lyndon B. Johnson. Criminal charges, he was arrested and convicted of swindling, fraud, interstate transportation of securities taken by fraud, a conspiracy, mail fraud. Criminal penalty, 8 years in prison for swindling, and it was reversed. 15 years for mail fraud and conspiracy, served 7 years in Fort Leavenworth. The other person in the conversation, you got Billy Sol Estes, Clifton C. Carter, born in Bryan, Texas in 1918. He first became involved in politics in 1937. He was a volunteer worker when Lyndon Johnson started getting into politics. He was a volunteer worker that worked very closely to LBJ. Carter was used to smear his political rivals, such as Ralph Yarborough. Now go back and look at that. He was LBJ's bagman. That's basically what he was. LBJ was accused back then of ballot rigging. Can you imagine? And Clifton stood by him, loyal Clifton. LBJ knew he would do anything he was asked. Very, very close friend of Lyndon Johnson. He was in the motorcade that day in Dallas as well. And he signed an affidavit saying, I distinctly remember 3 shots in intervals approximately 5 to 6 seconds apart from the first to the last shot. And the 3 shots were evenly spaced. You're also going to hear the name in this video of Malcolm Wallace, but in the video it says Mac Wallace. What's incredible is that in Wikipedia, a liberal online information website says this about Mac Wallace. Born October 15th, 1921, died January 7th, 1971. Was an American economist for the United States Department of Agriculture. On October 22nd, 1951, Wallace was fatally shot John Douglas Kinzer in the clubhouse of an Austin golf course owned by Kinzer. A number of witnesses claim Wallace was involved in the assassination of President John F. Kennedy upon the orders from then Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson. Now watch this.
It's sure good to see you. How's life treating you today?
Well, Saul, it's been a pretty touch and go situation. Lyndon and I have had quite a few unpleasant words here lately over the deal with that he hired Mike Wallace to assassinate the president. It's been hectic in every way, but we've lived through it this far, and I guess we'll continue to do so. Lyndon should have never issued that order to Mike, but we've had our differences, and I'm a true blue to Lyndon, as I've always been, and tried to carry out every order that he'd ever given me. But this is one I'll probably never be able to forget. And the times that we've had in Texas, and the embarrassment that Lyndon had gotten from Kennedy, I guess there wasn't anything else to do but what he did.
Well, you know, Lyndon could have really hit me if he would.
Well, Lyndon's the kind of person that doesn't want to help anyone. He's all for Lyndon, and that's the way he's pretty much always been.
Well, they had me backed up on that Henry Marshall killing, and they just kind of blackmailed me to keep my mouth shut. And if I hadn't had a bunch of tapes that I'd played after he got killed, because, 17 got killed in this situation very mysteriously. And I've done a lot of time, and I've lost a lot of money, and it's hurt my family a whole lot. And it's really got me just disgusted with Lyndon in one way. In one way, I feel real sorry.
Hold on, guys. Hang on. I don't know what's going on. Okay. This is unbelievable. I don't know how to make myself bigger. There we go. Yeah. So this may not be the JFK files reveal that most people are doing. This may not be the JFK files reveal that you wanted to hear. But if we've got to do it, we got to go to the basis. And the basis of all of this is the committee of 300. These people all worked for them. LBJ was installed. Is he a scumbag? Yeah. Are they all? Sure. A lot of them are blackmailed. That's happening even today. A lot of the Congress people you see are being blackmailed. Many times when a congressperson steps down, it could be because they can't do it anymore. So for me, this isn't the end. This is just the beginning. I've got other things I'm going to play tonight. It's too much for today. I've got a huge day ahead of me. But more than anything, I think we can't make light of this. We can't say, this is a nothing burger. We all knew it. This is not light. President Donald Trump is bringing forth transparency like we've never seen in the history of this country. Now, next up is going to be Benghazi. Benghazi is probably going to be one of the most revealing, other than 9/11. And there are 7 pages I've heard from various people that I know. There are 7, and it's been said even by Cash and different people. There are 7 pages of 9/11 that reveal the whole thing. That will be released as well. Here's the problem with 9/11, and you've got to really feel this in your heart. There are 3,000 people who lost their lives, children, and a lot of people, and this is a wound in this country that I don't know if the people who lost people are ready to hear that they lost a loved one at the hands of their own government, along with other governments. I don't know if that's the smartest thing to do for the sake of us wanting to know. I guess there's a way to have it both ways. Maybe there is, the wisdom of God. But for me, my heart goes out to those people. Benghazi, that's why they're doing it next, because those people were there. They knew that the chance they were taking, pretty much we know the Clintons were involved in, but there'll be a lot of other people that will be named. So that's it. I'm going to take just a couple of questions, guys, on topic, and we'll go from there. If you don't have any, then I'm going to see you later. Any questions? JFK Jr., who called Joe Biden a traitor in the 1990s, I think. Yeah, Lodi Bar 7. Absolutely, that's true. That is absolutely true. It was a year before he was killed in his plane. Sharon on X, yeah, I never got over Benghazi either, Sharon. That was tough. That was a tough one. Cindy, did JFK spill everything to Marilyn, and that's why she was overdosed? I do believe that. Easy access. Why were these documents saved? This doesn't make sense. Logically, evidence would have been destroyed decades ago. Murderers destroyed their weapons. No, not really. Look up karmic retribution. Okay. Look up karmic retribution. It's very interesting. These people have to have proof of what they did, and that brings them into a higher level of the Luciferians. It's very interesting stuff. Okay, XUYLA. Why do you think Roberts will be revealed? How and why? I'm going over that tonight. I don't want to veer. I got a major thing tonight I'm going to do on Fab 4 about John Roberts. I got that in the middle of the night, by the way. And then I woke up to find something out. And Dennis is like, you didn't see this? I woke up and I went, I know who's next. And I was like, whoa, okay. So God gave it to me in the middle of the night. Okay, couple more. How much, Peggy Day 49. Hi, Peggy. How much did Jackie know? I believe she knew something was up. I believe she was concerned for her husband. I do not believe she knew they were going to kill him, because if you watch that video, I know the person in the front seat shot one of the shots with Kennedy. It's one of them. I know that. And you see that she is like, doesn't know what to do. And she's like, and she probably, trying to get away. And she got one on the back toward the hood at the trunk. And then she sees a Secret Service man. So a Secret Service man runs into the scene for Jackie. Where were you? Where were you? Who were those Secret Service men? That's what I want to know. Who were they? What were the names of those 4 that were supposed to be next to the car? Yes, I agree. V. Nichols 80. Will we see ties in Oklahoma City bombing as well? Yes, I said it the day it happened. That absolutely was done as well. A Cali 1. What about the Oklahoma City bombing? Yeah, I'm sorry, I didn't see yours. Yes, yeah, that's going to happen. That's going to be revealed. Yes, definitely. When do you think JFK Jr. will surface? I don't know. Let me tell you what's interesting. I felt, and Dennis will tell you this, he thought I was crazy. In 1999, I spent hours upon hours upon hours upon hours upon hours investigating. It was during the time of that whole dial-up. I had a computer, first when it came out, I had one. Between that and the library, over the next few years, I studied at length the JFK Jr. Accident that he crashed. I knew it wasn't true. And I say it all the time, because he never went anywhere without his dog. Ever, ever, ever. He's going to a family gathering, and he doesn't bring his dog? No. And then if you saw, which they scrubbed, by the way, from the internet, I have it somewhere, I'll have to find it. They took pictures of him in the plane, and it's a mannequin. It's obvious it's a mannequin, and it's incredible. And then to top it all off, 5 people go on a boat, or maybe 7 go on a boat, and they go out to sea, and they have his ashes. They have his body cremated, and they are staunch Irish Catholics. I know. I lived not too far from them in Massachusetts. I know what they were like. You lived in Massachusetts and you're Irish or Italian. You were a staunch Catholic. So they're going to do that? Oh, that was a big no-no. You don't do that. I know he's alive, or he was alive. I don't know if he's still alive, but I know he was alive then. Will he ever come out? I don't know. I'm going to take one more. Rumble Jill. In the video where they talk about LBJ, they say the number 17. Do you know what that refers to? I didn't hear that. That's interesting. Let me go over to X. Sharon, I don't believe that. I don't believe Melania would do that. There are patterns of people, and I don't believe that. And if you look at the person that said that, if you tell me who said it, I can tell you if it's true or not. But no. Yeah, that blue box. That blue box was a Tiffany's box. That's a whole different thing. That had meaning, absolute meaning. But it wasn't that there was ashes in it. You know what I mean, Sharon? She wouldn't do that. That's just not her. That's not her style. Okay. Anyway, those nighttime revelations. Yes. I don't know, Karen, about that. If DJD picked up John and family from the water after the crash, I don't know. are there named religious leaders who are part of the 300? I'll tell you what you got to do, guys. These are very interesting. It's just too long for me, and I'm going to get off after this one. Don't Google. Go to Free Spoke. Go to Brave. Even you can buy. If you have the money, I think it's like $15 or something. Buy Dr. John Coleman's book, The Committee of 300. He names every single person as of 1991 that was in the Committee of 300. So yeah, West Virginia Mountain Mama. Yep. She said, my family mother's family is Irish Catholic in Massachusetts. Cremation, never, never, ever. Exactly. Junior would be the healing of the American people. I agree. The other thing that was very interesting, I don't know if you guys saw it, and then I really got to run, is about 3 years ago, in the chat, RFK was on a show, and in the chat it said, if your relative JFK Jr. is alive, touch your nose. And while he was talking, he went, very interesting. I don't know if I can find that video, but it was very interesting. And I trust JFK. So let me RFK. So let me just say this, okay? And I'm gonna get real down and dirty and say something I've never said before, but I'm going to tell you why I think our JFK Jr. And why RFK Jr.'s family is so against him. All right, has nothing to do with politics. I believe that they know Jr. is alive, and RFK Jr. is exposing a lot of stuff that might lead back to him, and they're concerned about the protection of JFK Jr. I really think that. I don't believe politics has anything to do with it. I believe they're concerned about their cousin, nephew, just something to think about. Anyway, let me go over this real quick. Tonight, Fab 4, you don't want to miss it. I mean, even for just the stuff I have, you don't want to miss it. Here is the toggle. This stuff is in this description. God's got this. And it's got a bright blue crystal, is gorgeous, and then an angel's feather. And it's a toggle, guys. So easy to put on. Take a look at that. Boom. Right on. Then the earrings. There's matching earrings that have the blue crystal with the little rhinestones. And then the 20-ounce tumbler fits in the holders. This is happening right there. This comes in all different colors, all different tumblers, all kinds of stuff. When you see what she's got over there now, joyandcountry.com, you're going to be shocked. And she said, happy spring weekend sale. Get up to 20% off your entire order. Sale ends Sunday at midnight. Discount codes for the spring sale can be used on already discounted clearance items. So you can go in sale and it holds true. And remember, guys, always free US shipping. I love my audience on X. Thank you for joining. I love our audience on Rumble. Thank you for joining on Rumble tonight and on X, 6 o'clock Eastern. You want to be there. Some of this stuff will, I'm sorry, easy access. This, you know what? You can look and see if it's still there, but this was way back. Maybe go to sale items and go in some far pages and take a look. It might still be there. This was from last year. Anyway, love you all. Yep. See you later on Rumble. X, see you later on Rumble. 6 o'clock, Fab 4, part 2. See you then. Until then, remember always, go in the power of God. Ciao, everybody.